AITA for letting my daughter wear a tiara to my cousin's wedding? My 32F daughter Chloe, 4F, has a fascination with princesses. She loves the color pink, wears only dresses, and has an array of tiaras she wears everywhere except at preschool where she can't. But she does have it in her backpack. My cousin 33 meters, Alex, fake names, invited us to his wedding, which was this past Saturday. Chloe was excited because she got to dress up and stay dressed up the entire time. She also couldn't wait to see the bride's dress. She asked if she could wear her princess tiara and I said of course. We got to the wedding on time. However, the start time was delayed for unknown reasons. 15 minutes after it was supposed to start, one of the bridesmaids came out and told me that the bride, Jen, 31F, was refusing to come out because my daughter was wearing a tiara. I thought she was joking, but she wasn't. Apparently, the bride was also wearing a tiara and wanted to be the only one wearing it. I told the bridesmaid that Chloe loves tiaras and always wears them. The bridesmaid said, "Not today, she isn't," and told me it needed to be removed. I said no. The bride is a grown woman and was being petty over a child's tiara. The bridesmaid left for a couple minutes and then Alex himself came out. He told me to leave. I asked why and he said because I won't tell Chloe to take off her tiara. I said this was ridiculous and Alex said it's not my wedding and when I get married then Chloe can wear one to mine, but that I'm officially uninvited regardless. Others around me told me to just take it off and I wouldn't. Alex's mom came over and escorted us out. Chloe was upset and crying because she feels she did something wrong and I'm upset because I can't believe someone would be jealous over a literal 4-year-old. I also feel bad because Chloe was really looking forward to seeing Jen's dress because she loves wedding dresses. But literally no one is on my side. AITA? Edit. Someone asked if my cousin has a mental illness. I said no, but the bride has Asperger's and they said that's important for you all to know. Why not ask Chloe if she minded taking it off first? If I may ask. Sorry. But why TA? Yes. It was absolutely over the top idiotic for the bride to obsess over a 4-year-old wearing a tiara. But once she told you to take it off, you should have removed it. She's the bride. It's her party. She makes the rules. Yes. Your daughter would have been disappointed to take it off, but I guess she was even more disappointed to miss the whole event. YTA for not complying with the bride's request, demand. It is their wedding and their rules. There is a reason, literally no one is on my side, in this. Because you were wrong. Edit YTA. For initially leaving out the information that the bride is on the spectrum and that you knew that before the wedding. Also for digging your heels in about it. Once it became an issue you should have left. Even if you were in the right, what's the point of staying after the first time they asked you to leave? Either remove the tiara or if you think you shouldn't have to remove it, just leave. Info in a comment you said that the bride has Asperger's. Did you know this before the wedding? Without this info, the bride seems ridiculously jealous of a child. With it, the situation is a little different. YTA. You made a comment the bride has Asperger's. She may have not been able to move on because of her stress of the day or her expectations of the crown. Just because it was ridiculous to you doesn't mean it was to her. You could have explained to your daughter, who I'm going to guess is neurotypical, that mommy made a mistake and we can't wear the tiara for a little bit but can later. You seriously need to parent up and teach your kid that there's a time and place for indulging your inner princess and a time and place for sitting back, following dress codes and letting other people shine. For example, at their own goddamn weddings. You were asked nicely but were petulant and entitled. You caused this. It's not over a child. It's over your lack of parenting. There's a reason nobody is on your side. YTA. YTA. If your daughter is able to understand she can't wear a tiara at preschool, she can understand that. She can't wear it at the wedding. Once you were asked politely to remove it, you should have done so. Let your daughter hold it on her lap and just tell her today's Jen's special day and she wants to be the only princess. You can wear it in the car and all day tomorrow. You made a stink over it. Held up someone else's wedding, and there's no indication your child wouldn't have just gotten over it. YTA all the way. Your daughter knows it's not okay to wear it at school. So she is aware that there are appropriate and inappropriate times. She could have not worn it there. The only time it would be okay is if your daughter was ND and the tiara was directly tied into her mental health. Obviously, it's not, as she can be in school without it. The fact that you even thought she should get to keep it on is remarkable. Grow up. Just because she's your princess doesn't mean she's everyone's. FFS. YTA. Look, it is wonderful that you want your daughter to look and feel special. But while the bride is an adult, she also has Asperger's, which affects her everyday life, and she probably has to adjust to the people around her most of the time. Her wedding was the one day where she should have gotten to focus on herself and her husband and get to be as special as she'd like. Weddings for anyone who is neurodivergent can be incredibly stressful to plan and can easily be derailed by one thing. The wedding day itself should be the one day you can forget the stresses of all the planning as the work is done. I speak as someone who is neurodivergent and planned my own wedding, and as a wedding planner who has helped plan hundreds of weddings. This could have been a great lesson for your daughter about compassion and the willingness to compromise, but you decided to create a scene instead. Please apologize and mend this fence. It is not a hill to die on. Your little girl won't remember this in the long run, but your cousin and his wife will. YTA. The bride is autistic and you did something that clearly upset her on her wedding day. You should have told your daughter that she needed to take off her tiara and you'd explain later why. YTA. And I honestly thought so before the edit about her being on the spectrum, but the fact that she is means probably really needed structure and routine after the extremely mentally painstaking task of planning a wedding, often by the bride's self. And honestly, the idea some folks have that she's competing with a 4-year-old is a little extreme. I imagine that if this was about an adult, everyone would be agreeing that the tiara was inappropriate even if the bride wasn't wearing one. Because weddings have a certain type of etiquette that people expect unless the guests were explicitly told otherwise. There's really nothing wrong with your daughter wanting to wear tiaras. But you know there's a time and place because you don't let her wear it to school. Someone else's wedding is exactly the wrong time and place for her to be wearing a tiara. What should have happened, but obviously no longer can, is you telling her no but hyping up how cool her future wedding will be where she can wear a tiara. Like other commenters, your enabling of this behavior is going to create an entitled child. Please speak with your daughter and let her know she's not in trouble for your mistakes. Honestly, this is one of the reasons I feel very young kids should not even be invited to most weddings. Probably gonna get snark for that, but the number of people who genuinely believe kids are entitled to do, say, and wear whatever they want regardless of circumstances is exactly why. In this situation, the bride got lucky and it was just a wardrobe issue. But there's tons of parents who let their kids completely destroy things around the venue and will just excuse it and make the couple feel irrational for being upset. And quite frankly, couples should be able to say that they want a child-free wedding without being hated and shamed for it. Sometimes people need a night away from kids, and a night that costs thousands of dollars is a pretty good night to get a babysitter. YTA. You don't want to take Chloe's tiara off? Fine. But you should have left when Alex told you to leave. You know why no one is on your side? Because you're a gigantic entitled I hope Chloe has some better adult role models in her life. Because you ain't it. Your daughter is literally a 4-year-old child. For fuck's sake. How insecure must the bride be that she feels threatened by something like this? On the other hand, you could have handled the matter delicately and asked Chloe to take it off to diffuse the situation. Without further drama. I think that would be much better than letting them escort you out. For everyone. I am going with Esh here. Edit. You know. Next time you know that the bride has Asperger's. Mention it in the post maybe. Because this makes you in the situation. Sorry and maybe unpopular but YTA. This day was not about you or your daughter. This situation caused a lot of unnecessary drama on someone else's day. YTA because you caused the scene at the wedding. Even if you felt like you were justified in your response because you thought the bride was being petty. It doesn't matter because it isn't your wedding. You should have either removed the tiara or left. By arguing with the bridesmaid and then your cousin, you created a bigger issue than there needed to be. And that resulted in your daughter feeling guilty. It isn't her fault. It's yours by being super stubborn over an easy fix. YTA. It's a wedding, not a playdate. You said that your daughter doesn't wear the tiara to preschool. So telling her it's not allowed at the wedding wouldn't have been that hard. She knows it's not appropriate everywhere. Was the bride OTP for not wanting anyone else to wear a tiara? Maybe. You're still in awe. This wasn't a big ask. It's not like she's asking everyone to wear a certain color or she'll out for a gift of a specific value. It's a few hours of your 4-year-old's day that she wouldn't have remembered about the tiara. The bride and groom paid likely a couple thousand for pictures. There is a reason none of your family is on your side. Don't call these people jerks because you don't like to tell your kid no. Soft YTA. Yes. It's ridiculous to get jealous of a 4-year-old wearing a tiara. However, it's the bride's wedding, so if she wants to be the only one to wear a tiara, even to the exclusion of 4-year-olds, it's her wish, and a good guest would indeed ask her daughter to take off the tiara for one day. And explain to the daughter that yes, it's kinda like preschool. She can keep it in her bag. Or mom's bag. But she can't wear it. The bride only gets one wedding. Your daughter can wear her tiaras any day she wants. YTA. Your 4-year-old should be able to wear a tiara BC. That is so petty. But at the end of the day it is someone else's day and they asked you to remove the tiara and instead you made a scene. Edit. Op also neglected to mention until the comments that the bride is neurodivergent, diagnosed with Asperger's. And we do not know if this is a factor in her rigid preferences. YTA. While I feel like it shouldn't have been a big deal to let a 4-year-old wear a tiara, clearly it was not wanted by the people getting married. You were told this. Ignored it. Your cousin told you this. You still refused. Your cousin tells you that you can no longer stay. You ignore it. Your aunt then had to come and escort you out. I get that no one had specified no tiaras in advance. But people don't usually wear tiaras, so I doubt they felt like they needed to specify in advance. YTA for refusing a simple request from the bride and causing a scene.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.